I would like to say something
Yeah.
about a personal kind of goal in the future. I want flamenco repertoire to enter classical guitar stage,
Which
classical
means?
guitar scene. I want flamenco pieces to be played by classical players in concerts, because I don't see a huge distinction between the great compositions of flamenco, the players like Paco de Lucia, for example, and some of the music that was composed in the 20th century or 19th century. I think it's just great music, and it doesn't matter what style it originated from, because that particular piece, for example, La Barrosa by Paco de Lucia, it's a masterpiece. And I think modern classical players are totally capable of handling them, because they handle much more difficult stuff.
There's been a little of that. I think the Romero family have always played a little flamenco.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And
Pepe has said to his students too that the more flamenco technique you have, rasgueados improve your classical tremolo, for example.
Yeah.
It helps the extending of the fingers and so forth. So there has been a little bit of a sub-strand of this, but it seems like there were some big major personalities that were against this. And there's still a little bit of that left. I think Segovia especially, who seemed to be very, very sort of strictly concerned with making sure that there was no flamenco being played by classical players. And there's a little bit of an echo of that still today.
well, the problem is that Segovia was so great that he could say anything and people would just follow.
I know, and we're still a little bit in that shadow today, I think, and that's probably why you're not seeing it so much.
Right. Well, he was against modern flamenco. He did not understand the change. He loved the old flamenco. But he probably saw them as totally different styles. He called them mountains, right? So, in my opinion, good music is good music. I mean, come on, people are playing Beatles on classical guitar. Is that considered classical music? I mean, classical players like Manuel Borreco.
Yeah, it's great music.
It's great music.
Yeah.
Why not flamenco? What's so different about that? There shouldn't be any fight, going on. And I think it's becoming better with younger players who are more open-minded. They like classic flamenco. Young flamencos, they like classical guitar and they listen to it and they get ideas. And same with young classical guitarists. They also grew up, exposed to flamenco more, so they're open-minded. But I think that if we incorporate the flamenco guitar repertoire into the classical repertoire, then it's only going to benefit everybody. I think technically, for sure, and also it's going to be richer. I don't know. There is something in flamenco that is not present in classical. For example, the driving rhythm, and the understanding of the rhythm would immediately improve.
Yeah, if you take out your favorite string quartet and turn on the metronome, the first beat they're on, and then after that, the quartet goes off. But in flamenco, there does seem to be this insistence on the rhythm, which I think is a problem for a lot of classical players. They're not used to that.
Yes, they some of them get lost and they can't keep count. Even great classical players, I know some of them just can't do it. It is really interesting for me to see, because I would think that they can do anything, right? But this is one area where they can improve, and I think flamenco is one of the ways to do it, and it's also good for your hands.